So it was cool. But man, it's great to meet you. I want to begin our conversation with when we look at the calendar now, it's been 4 years since the pandemic came and went. Hopefully it's gone. How did you survive that time period and how did it change you?
Oh man. Well, I was running my own business at that time, and it was tough. It was a lot of alone time with no income, but it was tough. People I knew passed away. Um, it doesn't seem like 4 years. It's funny you say that,
Yeah.
but I I made it through. I'm an internal guy, I guess. So I did quite a bit of reading. Uh, I did a little bit of DoorDash, uh, and I just I kept trying to refine the program that we were writing, just so when things got back to normal, we could get back to work. So it was it was an interesting time. It was
It
an
was
interesting
crazy.
time. Yeah.
It is hard to think it's been 4 years because it just seems like everything melted into itself. I had a hard time making a distinction between one year to the next. It was crazy, you know?
Yeah,
So
it was interesting because you all days were the same, and they were long days because you spending a lot of time with yourself. If you don't like yourself, it can be interesting. Now you get to really find out what your thoughts look like.
yeah,
So I spent a lot of time what my thoughts look like, and I wasn't in the best space, and many of us wasn't. We were just trying to figure out what was going on and make sure we do the right things for the people around us. If we even had an understanding of what was the right thing to do.
yeah.
But it was an interesting situation. I communicated with my folks more than ever during that time. So, and like I said, I don't mind being by myself. I like myself.
Yeah.
I don't mind spending that time uh, alone
Yeah.
or without a bunch of people. So it was interesting.
Yeah.
The best way for me to put it.
Certainly was. So let me ask you this. If I put you in front of a bunch of third graders, it's career day. One of the kids wants to know what you do for a living and says, "Hey, what do you do for a living?" How do you answer that child?
I'm a coach.
Okay.
I'm a coach, man. I'm a teacher and a coach. That's what I do, regardless of how we dress up the label,
Yeah.
business owner, sports performance guy. I'm a coach, man. And I'm a coach through and through. I got my degree in education as a teacher. I taught elementary school. I've coached in college. I've done personal instruction, group instruction. I'm a coach, man. So if a third grader asks me, it's one of the best professions you can ever take on. It's lucrative. You find yourself in the right spot, and you can really have an impact on people's lives. So,
Absolutely. So what did you want to be in the third grade? What was your dream?
you know what? I just wanted to play baseball.
Yeah.
In the third grade, I was a baseball player through and through. In the fourth grade, and the fifth grade, and the 10th grade. So I was a baseball guy. So I knew, and I've said this before, at a young age, but throughout high school and college, but at a young age, I knew I was smart enough to do stuff. So what I was gonna do, I didn't really worry about. I love playing baseball, so that's what I did. Anything else, I knew I was smart enough to do something if I wasn't playing
Yeah.
baseball.
So how did everything pan out? How did we get to where we're at today? How did these seeds of sport, being an educator, being a coach, how did all of this grow into who you are today?
Uh, it all ran together over time. Man, that is an excellent question, by the way.
Good.
So give me a second to think about
Yeah, yeah, I dig it. The
that.
timeline, man.
So I've sports has been a major part of my life throughout my entire life. So sports got me to college. Sports paid for my college. Sports is paying me now. I'm a coach now. So the transition from athlete to instructor wasn't difficult, but the timeline was, I played baseball and football and basketball my whole life. I stopped playing organized basketball in the 10th grade because I knew I could play baseball. I was going to play baseball. And I was good at football. I got a lot of football interest, a lot of scholarship interest. And this was back at the time when, there was no huddle. There was no, you can see a kid on Twitter and it's digital and it's right now. We had to mail in VHS tapes and create our own highlight tapes by dubbing videos and things of that nature. So my interest came in football, a lot of it. And then I was an All-American baseball player when it wasn't a lot of select sports. So to be an All-American was you were literally chosen out of 100 players were chosen as All-Americans at that time. So baseball and football was my ticket. Now, I liked school. I liked writing. Like I was good at school. I made A's and B's. I was on the honor roll and things of that nature. So when I got to college, I didn't declare a major until they made me. You know how that goes. You declare when you have to. But I was playing football because I got a football scholarship to TCU. So I declared, I was talking to a good friend of mine, and he went into education. And here's the truth of the matter. I went into education because there were a lot of girls in those classrooms, and a lot of them were very pretty. And the group work, you got a bunch of girls who they're gonna help out with the work. They're not bad to look at, and everybody's gonna make good. So it was all good.
Yeah.
But I was good at it. I was good at writing, and I was good at getting the message across according to what I needed to teach in the curriculum. So as a football player, I was fortunate enough to get picked up by the then Washington Redskins, now Commanders, as a free agent. But I stayed in school. I didn't. Like one of the smartest things I think I've done in my life was not, I stayed enrolled in school. So I called my instructor, I called my professors. I said, hey, listen, I'm in camp with the Redskins. If I get cut, I'm going to be in class right after I get cut. So please don't take me out of school. Send me what you can send me. I plan on graduating. So I got cut. I got cut. I made it to the 75 and I got cut. I went to school. When I got back after the weekend, I was at school in class. So I graduated probably a semester after I got cut and went right into the classroom because I was a student teacher. I did well as a student teacher, walked right into the classroom as a teacher. Taught school for 2 years, brother. I realized really quickly, I love the kids. I love the teaching. I ain't with school. Like it wasn't my thing. Good friend of mine called me and said, hey, you want to coach football? It happened just like that. Hey, you want to coach some college football? So I said, I'm walking down the hallway. I was like, you know what? Yeah, let's talk about it. So I go to Emporia, which is why I told you I've been to Kansas City. I go to Emporia State University. He's a defensive coordinator there. He hires me as a defensive back coach. And that's where it all merges and it starts to take off. I coach college football at Emporia. I get an opportunity to work at A&M with Coach Dennis Franchione as a then what they call offensive assistant or defensive assistant, which is now part of that job is what analysts do now, but their job is a little more complex. Went back to Emporia, coached at Texas State. When I got out of coaching, I came back to the DFW and got into my training, sports performance, group training, general fitness career. But before that, I had trained athletes at Texas A&M, and I trained at Texas State. So all of that experience and that degree and those opportunities ran together, which helped me build and form the company Performance Experience. So that's what sports has been in my life. It's been a huge part of my life's journey as a coach, as an educator, like I said, and they pay me to do it.
Man, that's a great timeline. So, who's been a hero for you? Who's fueled this desire and this wisdom that you've had?
I've had some really great people in my life. First and foremost, my parents. My dad, God rest his soul, he passed away a couple of years ago. He was tremendous in my life, always there. He was always present. And I mean, not just in body, but he was there. If he was dealing with you, he was dealing with you.
Yeah.
You know, he made you feel important. And my mom is tremendous. They've always been supportive, disciplinarians, those two first. Then the gentlemen in my community. I, I play rec ball. I'm a product of recreational sports. Never played select. I play rec into all stars into school ball. I'm a believer in it. I'm a product of it. And the gentlemen who coached us were tremendous. Shout out to James Carroll and Duck Taylor and Bob Ford and my dad, Greg Walls. Some of those gentlemen are no longer with us, but they were staples in the community, in the athletic community. Harvey Miller, those guys were a big impact on my life. My dad coached a softball team, adult softball team. Those are the gentlemen that taught me how to play baseball at 4 years old. You know, catching big league pop flies and catching balls behind the glove and whipping it back. So I've had some great men in my life growing up. And when I got to college, there's no doubt about it. Chris Thurman, who coached me in college, coached my position at TCU. He's a mentor of mine. He's a great man. We still talk every month or every other month to this day. So I've had some tremendous. I don't want to use the word role model. I want to say influence.
Yeah.
Because in those parts of my life, they were a tremendous influence on discipline and leadership and confidence and belief. So those are the people who have raised me, basically. It takes a village, and I'm a product of that village that it takes.
So you had this part of you that's baseball, a part of you that's football. So if you could get into a time machine and go back in time and see one baseball game and one football game, where are you going?
Of mine
Well, yeah, it
or of
could be that
any?
or of anything that just totally, put the hair up on your neck, just totally inspired
Can
you.
I change the outcome of the game?
Man, that's a dangerous ripple.
Because I would say the Cubs baseball game, the Moises Alou game, because to me, that's the greatest Cub team in the
Yeah,
history of Cub baseball.
yeah.
Carlos Zambrano, those guys.
Uh-huh.
I'm a huge Cub fan. I don't care what other people think.
Okay.
Uh, but I watched that game and I was watching that series and I was enthralled in that series because they were the better team. They, in my opinion, were the best team in the
Yeah.
majors. But it taught me a lot of lessons. You know, you got to play the game. I don't care what the paper says. And I believe this when I was in college and I played defensive back. So I'm going to come back. I'm going to answer that with this.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm a big believer in I don't care what your numbers say. I don't care how fast you are, how quick you are, how powerful you are, how strong you are. Today, you got to prove that to me for 3 hours. And I just don't think you better than me for 3 hours. And the Cubs solidified that because they were the better team. And it's who's playing better, who's prepared more, what does that energy feel like? Where is the momentum going? And any moment of anything
Mhm.
can adjust, alter, or change the outcome of the direction you were going.
Yeah.
I learned that from that. That's baseball. Football was 1998 Sun Bowl when we beat USC
Yeah.
in El Paso, Texas. We weren't supposed to win that game. I knew we were going to win that game. I knew it. My entire secondary knew it. Our linebackers knew it. Our offense had no doubt. We knew. And that helped me understand the true power of confidence and knowledge and understanding of what you're going into. Other people didn't know what we were going into, but we knew.
Yeah.
So I'll liken it to this, if you don't mind me sharing a story. The story of David and Goliath. I am a proponent of that story, but I don't tell it the way it's always been told because I don't believe it the way it's been told to me. I believe with God on his side, of course, but just if we look at the logic of the situation, David had all the advantages. David had every advantage. He was fleet of foot. He brought a gun. Goliath literally brought a knife to a gunfight. He could hit him from long range, close range, and he was accurate. So Goliath had no chance if you really think about it. You
Right.
can't hit him unless he's up on him. You're big and you're slow. You won't be able to move. All I got to do is keep distance and be sharp at what I already do. And now I got God on my side. You have no chance. That's how we felt.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like y'all don't know, but we know. Like we're not even concerned. So we went out there and thrashed them. I think they had like negative 19 total rushing yards, and they had a great team. They had a Buckus Award winner for that year. They had an amazing NFL talent at wide receiver, and Carson Palmer was the quarterback.
Wow.
And we went out there and
That's
gave
awesome.
them the business. So I'm a big believer. If you can't tell, confidence, man. If you you don't have confidence, it's not much as a man. I've never been a woman, so I don't know. But there's not much as a man you can do without confidence.
Yeah. I dig it. Totally do. And I live in Kansas City, so when people get nervous, I told people in this Super Bowl, I said, listen to me. Everybody in the house was freaking out. I said, Patrick has this. Okay.
You can't give a monster like that opportunity. But you could see the shift.
Yeah.
Kansas City knew it. Kansas City knew they were going to win. And this is just my opinion. And the 49ers in that moment were trying not to lose. They were
Right.
trying to not to lose. It's a
Right.
huge difference.
Yeah. And all season long, McCole went to New York. He came back. The game he came back, he fumbled the ball. Everybody either loves McCole or they don't like him at all. And that one moment, and that's what Reed does. You don't know who he's going to put in, and that's how those two work together. And he put him in, and that was it, man. It was I just felt there's a magic. And all season long, I was like, I don't know if these guys are going to make the playoffs. But once they got in that tundra of Miami and Kansas City, I knew it. The magic was back. All those guys were clicking. Everything came in. And they needed everyone. They needed Chris Jones. They needed everybody on both sides to be like, you know what? This is it. Let's do it. So,
And it's something special to see two teams, two winners go at it. Like
yeah,
it's so when you watch two high level teams in competition where you got two teams trying to win.
yeah,
But then you see a team that might be an underdog on paper, they're not supposed to win, or they might be undersized, and they start doing well against the team they should lose to. And then you start seeing them trying not to lose. To me, that's something you can instill, build, and create a standard for. Because
yeah,
I say it all the time when I'm watching games. I'm like, that's a good team. Like, that is the definition of a good baseball team or a good football team. They understand what they're going into. Yeah, they're down 3-0 in the bottom of the fifth, but it's pace
yeah,
for good teams. They've been there before.
yeah.
They know how they're going to respond and react. The only people surprised are the fans.
Uh-huh. Absolutely. So McCole talked about kind of blanking out once he caught the ball. He just everything because it was so much going on. When you won that game, when no one picked you and you were at the end and that last second clicked off, what kind of euphoria were you feeling?
Well, I was excited about the win. The truth is, the opponent didn't matter. We were just excited. We were at a bowl game and won a bowl championship. Like whoever they put in front of us, we planned on beating. It just
Yeah.
so happened we knew how to beat. we knew they weren't ready for what we were bringing.
Yeah.
So the feeling was for my teammates and winning. That feeling of being a winner. It wasn't really about we did it. It was, yeah, this is what it's supposed to be. This I like this feeling. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? And it was amazing. It was tremendous.
So, of all the things that you've done in your life, what are you the proudest of?
Graduating college.
Yeah.
Graduating college. That was the goal from the beginning. From as far as I can remember, as far as my understanding in my family, I am a first generation 4-year college graduate. The first one in my family tree to graduate from a 4-year university. I graduated in 2001, I believe.
Yeah.
So since then, my sister has graduated. And now I have a nephew who is going to LSU. And I have some nieces who are being looked at for their athletic talents to go. So to me, we rewrote our family history.
Yeah.
And we're creating a standard that you're going to go do whatever after college. You don't have to go to this place. You don't have to go work here. You don't have to go to the military. You have options. And one of those options is college. You can go to the military. You can go work a trade and be successful. But college is now an option.
Yeah.
My sister is a business owner now. I'm a business owner. I have business owning experience. So now they have another option. They have somebody they can talk to and say, "Hey, hey, mama, I'm thinking about this. What do you think about this?" And we can give that real feedback and not just be positive support, but give direction in that support. And I think that's tremendous. So
Oh,
I'm most proud of graduating from TCU. That is to me, if I was ranking accomplishments, that would be number one.
I feel my dad was his parents came straight from Italy. Well, his grandparents came from Italy. So in 4 generations, I was the first one to do the same thing. So I feel it. And
You
that's
get it?
there's a beautiful thing knowing that you created a brand new legacy. You
Yes,
opened the
sir.
door. So instead of people thinking no, you made the word yes a part of your lineage, and that's huge.
And it's real.
Yeah.
Like representation is huge. Like
Yeah.
they can go to my sister. My sister is brilliant. I talk about it all the time. Jasmine Cochran. Shout out to Jasmine. She uh, she was a Mississippi. She went to Mississippi State. She graduated from Mississippi State with an English degree. She was a all SEC high jumper. So that's another thing she can teach and show and give confidence in. I was an all-conference player. There are things that I can show and teach about college, about sports, about college sports, and how to maneuver in my family that is more than just, hey, keep fighting, keep going. Because that support is real. My folks, like I said, were tremendous. They came to games. They drove from Mississippi to Texas to just come watching me play. People, like, that's huge.
Yeah.
So what we're trying to do is just add to the things that they did so our family tree can flourish. We can make those roots deep and we can grow those branches wide.
Absolutely. So at the end of the day, Greg, everyone has a perception of you. Family, friends, students, clients, but you run the show. What's your perception of you? Who do you think you are?
I am a coach, really, or teacher. I approach a lot of things like that. More things than I probably should. People will show me something and go, "Hey man, what do you think about this?" And I immediately start critiquing. You see what I'm saying? That's not what you're asking me. You're asking me, how, it's cool, it's not, I'm my itinerary guy. Um, you know, let's do it in this order. Right? So if anybody were to ask, in my life, I'm a coach, I'm a teacher. I like to believe I'm a pretty good guy. Not everybody will agree, but I like to believe I'm a pretty good guy. But that's that's how I would describe myself.
So if anyone wants to reach out, they want to learn more, anything about your world and get involved, how can they do that? The good business.
Oh, they can reach me on Facebook at the new performance experience on Facebook, on Instagram at performance experience. Those are the best two. And then they can reach us email any questions about speed development, training, instruction. They can reach us at info at pesportsandrec.com. And then our website is pesportsandrec.com. If they look at when they look at the website, they'll see some adjustments. It might look one way one day, and one day the next. It's because we're streamlining and fine tuning our communications with the world and the digital world. So we want to make sure people can reach us, and more importantly, we can reach back with effective communication as quickly as possible. So that's where they can reach us. And then on YouTube at Performance Experience, just a bunch of amazing videos on YouTube about sports development, the attitude of sports, things of that nature, speed development. So you can find us at Performance Experience on YouTube.
Greg, this has been wonderful, man. I'll put all of it in the show notes. What an inspiration, man. Thank you so much for your story. Best of luck with everything, sir. I appreciate it.
Joe, I appreciate you having me, man. I appreciate you reaching out. And let's do it again.
I love it.
Yeah, let's do it again.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Thank you, sir. Have a great day. I appreciate it.
Thank you. You do the same.
Take care.